Okay, guys. Hi, everyone. So today we are going to look at the quant section of the CLAT paper that happened today. I thought it was a very easy paper, and you should have scored at around 10 marks if you had about 15 to 17 minutes with you, right? Very easy. Now, this was the first set in my paper. And so what I've done is I put the table. This was what was given to you, right? The total population in rural is 48%, and hence urban was 52%. They've also given you the breakup of this in terms of self-employed, casual wage workers, and regular salaries. So this data was given to us. Given that this data is there with us, we will start with the questions now. And most of the questions were fairly straightforward. You should have got each of them in under 1 minute. Let's start with the first one. By what percentage the number of self-employed workers in rural areas is more than self-employed workers in urban areas? Now look at the self-employed in rural. It is 56% of 48% of the total, right? The total doesn't matter actually. Upon the self-employed in urban, urban is 40% of what? Of 52% who are in urban of the total population. So this is anyway not important for me. All of them are multiples of 4, so I can cut it. It's 4 14s and 4 10s, and this would be 4 12s and 4 13s. Now I'm getting a very sweet denominator, which is 130, so I'll keep it there. 14 12s is 168. They are asking me how much is the numerator greater than the denominator. Right? How much is the numerator greater than the denominator? Obviously, the numerator is greater by 38 on a base of 130. Right? On 130, the numerator is greater by 130 by 38. And what is this? Obviously, we know that 13 threes are 39. My numerator is 38. So the answer had to be just under 30%. Just under 30%, you would go with option number A. Right? Simple. Let's go to the next one. What is the ratio of the urban and rural working population? Now, guys, this was straight away given to us. The urban population is 52% of the total, and the rural population is 48% of the total. So the total anyway is immaterial here. Answer should have been 13 upon 12. So that's option number C. This was probably the easiest question. Very surprising that they gave you something as basic as this. The next one, if the urban population of the region increased from 52 to 56, so this now becomes 56%, and the percentage of self-employed in the urban remains the same, which means this remains 40%. What is the number of self-employed people in the urban areas? Obviously, it will be 40% of 56%, right? Because if the total population is X, X का 56% belongs to urban, uska 40% is self-employed, and what is X? X is 3 lakh rupees, 3 lakh people. So instead of X, I can take it as 3. Forget the zeros. The zeros don't matter to me now. It's 3 lakh ka 56% ka 40%. Now, again, you can ignore the zeros. What is 4 threes are? 12. So this is 56 into 12. 12 6 are 72. 12 5s are 60, 67. My answer should start with 672. That's option number D. That's all we had to do for this question. Let's go to the next. What is the total number of regular salaried employees of the region? Now, they're asking me the total number of regular salaried, which is this, of the region. So it will be 12% of 48% of the total, which is 3 lakh. But this is the rural regular self-employees. They're asking me the total. So plus, what about the urban? Urban means regular is 48%. So 48 of 52 of 3 lakh. Now, if you look at the common, 48 is common to both, and 3 is common to both. So 48 threes is 144. 48 threes are 144 into, take it out, it is 12 plus 52. So it will be 144 into 64. Right? 144. Now the options are closed, so we will multiply it. Just multiply it the conventional way, guys. No No shortcuts here. I'm just doing it the conventional way. 4 fours are 16, 1, 4 fours are 16 plus 1, 17, 1, 4 ones are 4 plus 1, 5, 0, 6 fours are 24, 2, 24 plus 2, 26, 2, 6 ones are 6 plus 2, 8. So my answer should have 1 plus 6. This should be 2, 8. I'm sorry, this should be 9216. This should be 9216. Where is 9216? It's here. That's my answer. Right? 9216 is my answer. Okay, let's go to the next. What is the percentage of the regular salaried employees in the rural areas corresponding to the number of casual workers in the urban areas? Right? What are they asking me? Regular, look at the numerator again. It's just the ratio, guys. We just have to form the ratio. Regular salaried employees in the rural, which is this. So it is 12% of 48, corresponding to the casual workers, which is 12 of 52. In urban, urban is 52. So again, of x cancels, right? So total is immaterial here. This goes off. I'm looking at 12 by 13, which I can say is 13 by 13 minus 1 by 13. 13 by 13 is 100%. 1 by 13 is 7.7%. You should have ideally known your inverses, guys. Important. 100 minus 7.7 would give me 92.3%. 92.3% should be my answer. Okay, so most of the sums were pretty straightforward. The last one. Now, this was a bit of an issue in terms of the wording. If 60% of the total working population, so I'm assuming that the total working population be X, 60% of that, so 60% of X, okay, of the region was self-employed in rural. So this is self-employed in rural. And 40% of the total population. Now, ideally, this should have been total working population, guys, because what they have given to me is the working population. They have not given to me total population. So I'm assuming that it is a total working population only. This is 40% of X. This is the ratio they were asking me, right? XX again gets cancelled. My answer should be 3:2. The answer should be 3:2. And that's pretty much, I think, what this set was all about. If you look back at all the questions, this was probably the only question where you had some calculations. Otherwise, the calculations were not very large. So you should have done it. The second set I thought was again very straightforward. They're given you 4 states. They are also given you the distribution of the total cars, 15% to state A and 20% to state 2 and so on. The total number was again very cute, 8,000. So what is, now the first thing you should have done was, you should have found out what is 15% of 8,000. It will be obviously 1,200. So this is 1,200. 20% would be 800 into 2, which is 1,600. 800 into 3, 8 3s are 24. So this should be 2,400. And how do I find 35%? 35% is 7 by 20. 7 by 20 of 80. So this would be 4. 7 4s are 28. So this is 2,800. This is 2,800. So we have the total cars in each, and that's it. We don't need to get into the cars for diesel, petrol, and electric. They have given me the ratios there, and the ratios are fine. This 1,200 for state 1, the breakup was given to me in terms of diesel, petrol, electric is 3:4:1. So these are ratios, okay? These are the ratios of the distribution of diesel, petrol, electric for each of the states. Okay, let's start with the questions. If 45% of the electric cars in state 4 are air conditioned and the remaining are non-AC, which is 55%, what is the number of non-AC cars? Now, so state 4 was 28. 28 is the total. Uska 2 by 7 plus 5, 12 plus 2, 14. So out of 14 parts, 2 parts is electric. And out of that, I want non-AC, which is 55%, because 45% are electric, 45% are AC. So the remaining 55% will be non-AC. 55% is 11 by 20. Now, 14 2s are and 1 2 will cancel with this 2. ऊपर मुझे बचा है 11 2s are 22. Look at an option which starts with 22. That's my answer. So the answer should have been 220. Okay. Second, the number of petrol cars in state 2. Look at petrol. Petrol is 3 parts out of 5 plus 3, 8 plus 2, 10. So 3 by 10 of the total. Now this was 20%. I remember again 8,000. So this is 1,600. So it is 3 by 10 of 1,600 upon, you can take 16 also. Diesel cars in state 1. Now diesel is 3 parts out of 3 plus 4 plus 1 is 8. So 3 by 8 of, now this was what? This was 1,200. So 1,200. Again, you can just ignore the zeros. This is 3 will get cancelled. 4 4s 4 3s. So what you are left with is 4 by 10, and niche you will be left with 3 by 8, which will become 8 by 3. So you will get 32 by 30. Okay, how much is the numerator greater than the denominator? The numerator is greater than 2. Okay, 30 said 32 is 2 more on a base of 30. So the increase is 1 by 15. 1 by 15 is 6.66%. 6.66%. Answer should have been D. Again, a pretty straightforward question, should have been done pretty easily. Let's look at the next one. What is the ratio of the diesel cars in state 4? Now again, state 4 diesel will be 7 parts out of 7 plus 5, 12 plus 2, 14. So that's 50% of the total. Now this total of state 4 we found out initially was 2,800, right? So this is 28. To the electric cars in state 3. Electric cars in state 3 will be 3 parts out of 3 plus 5, 8 plus 4, 12. Of 30% of 8,000 was 24. Okay, now again, 14 2s are 12, 2s are 2 2 cancels. I'm left with 7 by 3. And that's my answer. Right? Simple, very straightforward. Let's go to the next. Compute the percentage of total electric cars to the total cars in all the states. Percentage of total electric. Now let's look at electric again. Okay, let me just quickly write down. See, this data would have been there in front of you. This was, I think, 8,000 was the total. So 15% was 1,200. This was 1,600. This was 2,400. This was 2,800. Okay, so electric cars in the state 1 will be 1 by total parts are 8 parts. Yeah, if you add 3 plus 4 plus 1, it will be 8. So 1 by 8 of 1,200 plus in state 2, it is 2 by 10 of 1,600. State 3, it will be 3 by 12, right? Yeah, 3 by 12 of 2,400. I'm not writing the entire thing now. And plus 2 by 14 of 2,800. Now, if I cancel this, this would be 8 15s are 120. So 150. Okay, so it would be 150 cars. Plus, ये cancel हो जाएगा. 160 into 2 is 320 cars. Plus, this is again 2, 6. So that will be 600 cars. Right? And last, this is again 2. So this should be 400 cars. Okay. This total, I hope this is how much? 0 0 0 0 0 0 2 plus 5 7 10 13 14 1470 out of 8,000. They are asking me out of the total number of cars, right? So that's 8,000. So effectively I have 147 by 8, which is 18 8s are 144, 3 by 8, which is, what is 3 by 8? 37.5. So my answer should have a 18375. 1837, option number B. 1837, option number B. Right. So that was this question. Let's go to the next. The difference between the number of petrol cars in state 3. State 3 petrol cars was 5 parts out of 12, 5 by 12 of, we know now 30% was 24,000 minus diesel cars in state 1. Diesel cars is 3 parts out of 8 parts of 15% we know now is 1200. Right? Okay, so let me also write here 2400. This is 2za, which means 200 into 5 is 1000. And this is 15za. So 150 into 3 is 450. 1000 minus 450, the answer should have been 550. Answer should have been 550. I mean, even if you had not taken the 2 zeros, guys, you would have got something like 10 minus 4.5. You would have got 5.5. Even with the 5.5, you would have marked D as the answer. So for me, zeros really don't matter much. Let's look at the last question. This was the average number of diesel cars in all the states. Again, a little time consuming. Average would be total divided by number of states. So let's look at the diesel. By the way, again, this was 1200. This was 1600. This was 2400. This was 2800. So diesel in the first would be 3 by 8 of 1200. And in the second, diesel would be 5 parts out of 10 parts of 1600. In the third, it would be 4 by 12 of 2400. And in the last, it would be 7 by 14 of 2800. So this is again 150 into 3 is 450. This would have been cut. 160 into 5 is 800. 12 2s are 200 into 4 is again 800. And this would have been 200 into 7, which is 1400. Which is 1400. This is divided by 4. So 14 plus 8 plus 8 is 3000. So this should have, am I getting it right? 1600, 3000, 3450 upon 4. Just divide it now. 3, 4, 8 are 32. 2, 5, 6 are, does that help? Yes, there's only one option starting with 86. That's 862.5. So that becomes my answer. I don't have to go beyond this. So this was the answer key, guys, for today's CLAT. You can use that to check your scores and see how much you got right. Don't fret too much on it now, guys. It's all gone. Start worrying about now the other exams, the ALET and the other exams, which will be later on. Right? So that's about it from my end, guys. Bye.